99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. We're back on the second part of Dailies today here on Nigeria Info. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi Disu. Sorry, just trying to get myself a rinse and put on my reading glasses.
Okay. You can watch us on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook and on YouTube. And let us know what you think about these stories. We'll take the comments that we can take during the course of the show. Let's start with this story here on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Minimum wage give costs to government today. Tinubu orders finance minister.
So, excuse me. So this is the latest that we have in the salaries, the minimum wage issue. And the story says President Bola Tinubu gave marching orders to the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, to prepare the cost implications of a new minimum wage and present an affordable, sustainable, realistic figure today. I find this, I don't know, because what I don't understand is if the president is just giving that order today, and he gives them 2 days within which to give that to him, what have they been working on in the past? What has been the rationale for the government figures that have been presented? And what was the maximum figure that they had in mind? All this is grandstanding. And shows, for me, it's not a good approach to the situation we have at hand. I'm sorry, but that's the way it reads to me. That you're now just telling the minister to offer government's new offer must be ready today as the basis of negotiation with organized labor and so on and so forth. You had the benchmark. What was the cost implication of the benchmark, and how far did you think you were going to go in this negotiation? I don't get it. I might appear a bit too critical, but these little things, these little signs that you have here, it erodes the confidence that I have in all this. And I tell you that from the beginning, I think a lot of things have been decided. What I believe we're watching is some kind of show, possibly some agreements here and there, to make it acceptable to the people. You know? And for things like this, I honestly don't understand the kind of governance that we have. Part of this is also predicated on the fact that we don't even know the mind of our president. He didn't debate. We didn't know his mindset on a whole lot of issues. He hasn't had a press conference since he became president. So we don't know the way his mind works. Because it will be interesting to know the way a mind works when on one hand your country is in crisis and on the other hand you are throwing good money away. I don't need to repeat the circumstances of all that. It will waste our time. And I'm going to call on the Nigerian people to, in a manner in which they know best under the law, insist that the president should grant an interview for people to call in 1 year into office, because we're in a national crisis and we need to know the mindset of our leader. That will explain a whole lot of things. It was highly irresponsible of us to have appointed a leader whose mind we didn't know. He didn't debate, and he said that his own government was a collective. Now, those of us who know the way these things work know that there is nothing like collective. There's only one captain in one boat. Hasn't the president been briefed daily about all these negotiations going on? Hasn't he been briefed almost every 2 hours on developments? Hasn't he been sitting in on this? Which we think is most crucial. So that's my take. But he gave out instructions, and we hope they'll be complied with. I just want this thing ended any which way they want to do it. because it's still not addressing the crucial issues. And I don't want to go over that again because I don't want to waste time, and I'm a bit, depressed this morning about various developments. Because the key question you need to ask yourself 1 year of a government is, what does the future look like? Just this morning I was talking to a friend and saying that I'm getting a bit depressed because our political indices show me that it's not going to get any better in the next 1 year. And that is strictly by past actions and attitude. It gives me an impression that it's not going to be good. It gives me an impression that in this minimum wage, there will be an agreeable figure, but trust me, the lot of the Nigerian worker will not be improved in any manner. I don't see the roadmap. I'm sorry, I don't see it. If you look at what actions of government giving 91 billion to pilgrims, a 1 trillion contract that is absolutely unnecessary at this time. It's good to have a coastal road, but it is not priority. It is not. If you listen to Osita Chidoka, who I believe knows better than me and a lot of people, even in government, from his presentation, it's not a priority. So when you get those attitudes and when you get a lot of promises failing, where is the Port Harcourt refinery now? When you get these things happening, how am I now supposed to hope that there's going to be any so-called renewed hope for the future? What do I think the next 1 year is going to be looking at? Because the figure they're going to arrive at, trust me, is going to be somewhere between 85 and 100,000. And it's not going to change anything. And I can also tell you, the inflation will spiral. It's just logical. There's no need having a debate about that. But that's where we are today. And like I said, it is up to Nigerians. What we are getting here, the signs we are getting here is that the Labour Congress that did its homework and decided that their demand was going to be 610 they now dropped the demand in their sights to 100,000, and that is like going to buy RAM in the market. When you go and buy RAM, you just put any price, and then you now. So it means that proper homework itself has not been done. And my friend Osa said yesterday that I should cut Labour some slack, and I just smiled. Like you will say down on the streets, I smell a rat. Something is going on. But I don't think the lot of Nigerians will be much better even after this so-called figure, is agreed upon. But let's see how it goes. Please let it be known that these are my views. These are just my views and these are my thoughts. And that's what I'm paid to do, to hear my thoughts and my views.
Right, let's go to page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper.
I'm not saying anything.
You're surprised?
Yes.
You've said a lot of things, actually.
If you add, it's not just nodding your head. The people who are listening on radio cannot see you nodding your head.
Technically, I'm not supposed to say anything.
Which technicality says you can be saying ha. Even though technically you're not supposed to say it, you can still be saying
It's called adjust.
One of us will kill each other.
Oh my God! Let's go. Let's go to page 8 of the paper. This story reads: Editors flare rising spate of journalists' abduction.
It's becoming frightening. It is becoming frightening. Just yesterday, I read a Premium Times reporter was investigating a story. The people he was investigating wrote a petition to the police, and the police requested that he should come. We can't continue like this. We can't continue our job like this. And when we also talk about regulation of the social media, this is not what we envisaged. I heard that Mohbad's father was also summoned yesterday because of a petition written by, I think they said it's Oba Elegushi. We can't have a system where, when we want to do our job, some things that should be determined in the civil courts, police now make themselves the instrument of harassment. And what they even do is, the police don't even tell you, okay, a petition has been written. Would you like to reply to this petition? Okay, I think that law needs to be, it needs to be resolved. And I would rather suggest, I don't know if this is possible, that all cases of this so-called cyber hawking or whatever it is are referred to the DPP before action is taken and people are arrested. Because look at what it is now. All you need to do to lock anybody up is to write a petition. You can hack his account, write something, and then get the police to arrest him and lock him up for days. But I think if some of these people that are arrested, if they can go further to claim their rights and claim damages from the police, maybe it would put in some kind of restraint. I need some lawyers to sort me out in my head, and you out, as it were, for us to know the clarity of the law. Some of them, to my mind, are simple civil cases. They're civil cases. And it's all quite unfortunate that in what I would consider a civil matter, the police will pick you up, lock you up, arrest you, lock you up. I would have thought, like I said, even if criminal, that if a petition has been written, you send a copy to the accused person, and the accused person files a reply, and you refer it to the Ministry of Justice for clarity before you pick up anybody. Being arrested by the police, I can assure you, is traumatic. It has it has happened to me before. Not once, not twice. Even if you're arrested within your house, it can be traumatic. And I don't think it is fair for you to go through all that only for you now to be declared not guilty. So we will call on the authorities to please talk to the IG to tell his people to show a lot of restraint in this matter. It's becoming one too many. I know that I'm one of those who believe that there should be some element of control. But this one that we're embarking on, no. A lot of it, like I said, can be taken care of. There are civil matters. You can sue people. You can do what you like. Also, our colleagues also need to stand up to this collectively and say no. Our colleagues are, the romance they have with the government is making their job very difficult. And that sentence is loaded with all kinds of things. I don't have the time to bust open that boil. But for those who know, they will know what I'm saying. The romance we have with the political class is a bit too charming. And this is the end result. We need to put ourselves in a position of respect. And we need to stand up for each other in cases like this. Because guess what? You never know for whom the bell tolls. It's gotten to a point where it is so easy to get anybody picked up. Also because it becomes a commercial enterprise for the police themselves. I don't think you can walk into a police station and come out without dropping something. So you want to comment now?
It's a bit difficult.
The other one, you said you are not in a position to
You
comment.
looked at me. You're expecting me to say something.
But you said the other time that it is not that you are not supposed to say anything.
Technically.
Technically.
I didn't
So
say,
what
I
is this
didn't
one
I
now?
didn't say I will not. I didn't say I will never. I said technically.
Okay. I said,
But it will be difficult.
one of us will kill ourselves. Anyway, the professional body of media executives and editors have warned the security agencies, especially the police, against press freedom violation and called for a proper understanding and intention of the Cyber Security Act. If there's any lawyer who knows so much about this act and is willing to educate our people, you should please let us know.
I think the police, they know exactly what they're doing. The enlightened ones will not entertain anything and from anyone at all. Because what I see here is a bully tactics,
Yes, definitely.
not just by the elites, but by the police themselves, because they use this. I mean, for instance, the issue of FIJ journalist that was picked up randomly, in Lagos here, and before you know it, he was whisked away to Abuja, and he was locked away without even telling him exactly what he did. He was here on Nigeria Info, and he told his story. I mean, those are the kind of things that you hear when people mention the cyber security, whatever act, that people are now exploiting. Most of these cases are usually not even up to that level. I mean, for a journalist who is doing his job, you should know that without a cause, the journalists have no business doing anything. There has to be a reason why a journalist is investigating something. And for instance, a journalist is investigating a publicly or supposedly public-funded project. How do you call that cyber stalking? How? Even if someone had brought that case to you, you at least look at the merits of what they have brought. Okay, if you go school, you go look at the merits of what they have brought.
It's a pig, and if our Amy is dead, he would have gone to court, to make a point of this. And I will call on our lawyers and our top journalists. Let's make a case of one or two. A case of Bamilating Dolowo, slapping make against money. Yes. Yes. What is sad about this police matter is that some of us who are in this fight to make a better Nigeria, they will be the beneficiaries. And that is the sad story of our country across the board. Even the foot soldiers on social media, all of them. They will be beneficiaries from some of the things that we do. You must put the government on its toes. It's not a matter of us and them. The other day, because of this strike or whatever, I saw some Twitter thing that was, it was said that it was Bayon Onuga that said it, that it had to do with elections, and Peter Obi himself and Reno, whatever that other one's name is. I found that quite insulting, if it is true that is what was said, because I didn't see it myself. I didn't authenticate it myself. But we need to, it's not about, we are not all this idea of hailers and wailers and so on and so forth. These are infantile attitudes to government. We want one government that will be there for everybody. And all we want is good governance. That's a legitimate thing to ask. Whether he's a Peter Obio or he's a Bola Tinubu, whatever it is, we want good governance. It's very sad.
Let's go to page 18 of the Vanguard. Tinubu's sour media freedom record.
Okay, the Vanguard has put in a word here, and most of what is said here is reflected in what we just spoke about now. Except that, of course, they give concrete examples of how that he says here, Latuji, like you said, was abducted from his home by people dressed in military uniforms. He was incarcerated in the custody of the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, which I think is like the CIA, who should be more interested in security breaches, and only released to media stakeholders after heavy pressures on government. Olatuji had reported alleged corrupt dealings by a top presidency official. The top presidency official should know that there's always a tomorrow. Those who did it yesterday, where are they today? You can be in the presidency today and not be there tomorrow. No condition is permanent. Also, Ojukwu was held by the police for alleged cybercrime violations. Sadly, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, who is a publisher, claims no journalist was incarcerated in the last year, an assertion that evokes the style of Lai Mohammed. Incidentally, President Tinubu is the owner of one of the largest multimedia networks in the country, which has survived 4 presidential tenures since 1999 without harassment. I think he owns both a TV station and a newspaper, if I'm to be correct, or he has a connection with them. And Tinubu himself was exiled as a result of Abacha's intolerant and despotic reign, which abrasively targeted the media. So he should know. Anyway, this is what the Vanguard has to say in the last paragraph. Rough handling the Nigerian media is a thankless job, and it always boomerangs. Because what you do is that you push them to the trenches. And with the social media that you have now, I tell the government to think twice. If you remember what happened with no social media, what Temple and other public radio could hear at, and what people were able to do at that time. So the Constitution and our law must always be followed in dealing with alleged erring journalists and media houses. Impunity is unacceptable.
That's right. Absolutely unacceptable. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. You can watch online on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch on Facebook and on YouTube. Let's go pick up the editorial in the Punch newspaper. Sanwo-Olu must clamp down on lawless Okada riders.
There's nothing to be said here. The governor has to clamp down on Okadas, period. They are back in full force. Not just back. If you ply the Echo Bridge, you can always see them coming against traffic. So the governor I think it is time to put a total ban on Okada once and for all and exhibit completely no tolerance at all for this. It is clear that they've become more of a menace than an attribute in our society. You know, and the Punch is worried. They refer to an incident where 100 riders invaded the Ipaja police station to violently protest the seizure of their Okadas by law enforcement agents. The protesters violently demanded the return of their motorcycles. They alleged that their livelihood was being undermined and caused great mayhem. Okay? Indeed, the impunity of Okada riders has reached a crescendo. The government reenacted the transport sector law of 2018 because of their reckless behavior. The law prohibited their operations in 6 local government areas and extended it to 10 local government areas in September 2022. The areas include Kochofe, Oshodi, Solo, Shomolu, and Mushin. They have remained defiant and have continued to constitute a menace, wreaking havoc and applying the restricted highways and bridges. As you are on a co-bridge now, look out of your window and see them coming in the opposite traffic, especially if you are approaching Akpokmo. Oh, many an accident could have happened to even me personally on that route. So it's up to them. The government began losing steam on enforcing the law when the then Governor Ambode decided to apply the law. That is history. Ambode has been long gone. So it's up to this government, Sanwo-Olu. One of the legacies you want to leave behind, because this is your last tenure, is that you brought sanity onto Lagos roads. The other sanity you need to ensure, and I said I was even going to ask, I don't know what resource person to bring is, at what point can you be asked for your particulars by this FRSC, either police patrol or this traffic, what do they call it? No, not last month. The other ones are very white and the Lagos State traffic official.
Yes, I know them.
Yes, if I have an appointment in Victoria Land here to see the governor in Alausa, the governor says I should be there for 10 and I leave at 8. Victoria Land here, there is one checkpoint. FRSC can stop me for particulars. By the time I get to Stadium, another one. By the time I get to Maryland, another one. The police will ask me. FRS will ask me, at what point do I get to my destination? I thought that it is when you spot an infraction. Indeed, there is a video now of one of these traffic whatever, this traffic call, the black and white people.
The
VIO, exactly. Asking for custom papers. It was recorded on video.
Custom papers?
Yes, because it's extortion. They handpick cars that they stop. Okay, they look and see if it's a weaker link. If they see that you're a bit elderly and whatever, they let you pass on. Somebody must come and educate us. I refuse to believe that I'm going my way and you just stop me arbitrarily to ask for my particulars. It's not acceptable. When it was done in the past, the police will announce next week we're going to be checking particulars. And what do? Once your particulars have been checked, they give you a sticker cleared by police so you can go your own way. Given the Lagos traffic is much better now, to be fair, but given the Lagos traffic and so on, how many hours am I going to add to meet up an appointment because I might be stopped by either police, One day, FRSC stopped me at Ikmori. I said, why are you stopping me? I have my seat belt, my vehicle license is there, my, what's the other one? So what are you stopping me? He said he wants to know if I have a fire extinguisher. I was stunned. You are stopping me. I'm going to my place of work. You're stopping me to know if I have a fire extinguisher in my car. So I will park, open my boot,
and show you the
fire extinguisher. Then you ask for the seat. Then you begin to check my tires. I need somebody to educate. I refuse to believe that people can do. Otherwise, what kind of a confused society are we running?
Right. I would have loved for us to take these messages here, these stories here, but we really need to go now.
Okay.
But you're back at 9.
Thankfully, it's Diabumi
today.
So,
Right. Lagos, that will be our show this morning. Thank you all for being a part of it. We appreciate it. And just to add, can I add? Okay, I can add because I wanted to buttress what you said, because there was one time I took an Uber to somewhere around Ojodu, and they stopped my Uber guy, and they asked for the paper, and the guy refused. The guy said, check. Because the VIO guy was holding something, a device.
Yes.
So the guy said, check. The guy said, I have my paper as well, but that thing that you're holding is meant for something. Check
it.
So he had to, they were back and forth. Eventually he checked, and he saw that the guy's papers were intact, and he had to let us go.
Good.
That's our show today.
Can they ask for custom paper?
I don't know. We have to
Is your heart racing because your MTN line is blocked? You can't make calls. You can't receive calls.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.